A lot of people ask me if they should buy an Xbox Series X or an Xbox Series S. My answer is always yes.
3 words for you. Treat yourself. Treat yourself 2011.
Both consoles are becoming more and more available to buy, especially the Series S. You can see it almost everywhere. I thought it would be a good time to discuss the pros and cons of both consoles and let you decide which one is best for you. I'm Court Lalonde from Xbox A, and this is Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S. I will start by explaining what these two consoles have in common besides the name Xbox. Both consoles have Quick Resume, a phrase most of us thought was a buzzword until we realized going forward that every console should have this. It allows the game to be picked up wherever in the game you left off after you turn off the console or go back months later. Xbox Velocity Architecture. Now this is a buzzword. All you'll need to know is both consoles have an SSD hard drive, which cuts down the load times considerably. Some games don't even have load times at all now. X Raytracing. Now this feature isn't in every next gen game, but it's in most. Regardless if you have a 4K or a 1080p TV, the ray tracing will work, but it's up to you to decide if you want it to. So far, most games will lower the FPS to compensate for the ray tracing in the game. Variable rate shading. With VRS, a GPU can use its full shading processing power for more complex parts of an image and less power for simpler parts of the image. Yeah, I didn't understand that either, but hey, it's a thing. Spatial Sound. It'll allow you to hear sound via your headset or sound system as it was meant to, all around you. If you're looking for Dolby Atmos though, you will have to pay for the licensing. Gaming at 120 frames per second.
Wow.
If the game allows it, and not every game does, so you'll have to look first. There's been a lot of games that have come out, but it's pretty much becoming the norm now that games are just at 60 frames per second. Smart delivery. Another one of those phrases we all thought was a buzzword, but you can't live without. With smart delivery, you know you'll always be playing the best version of the game you purchased without the hassle of looking into which version you're playing and downloading the next gen version. It's just worry-free gaming.
Okay. That's neat.
Also, Game Pass works on both consoles. We'll get into the storage. The Xbox Series X comes with 1 terabyte storage, and then the Xbox Series S comes with 512 gigabytes storage. But both allow for external and custom SSDs. The custom SSD is a proprietary software SSD that comes from Xbox themselves, and it isn't cheap. Processing power. The Xbox Series X comes with 12 teraflops of processing power, while the S has 4 teraflops of processing power. We heard a lot about flops on last gen. You know what? I still don't even know what a teraflop is, but the more flops, I guess, the better. Gaming resolution. The Xbox Series X comes with true 4K, so it's not your upscaling like we have on other consoles. And then your Xbox Series S only goes up to 1440p. So for the X and the S, it just matters on what TV or monitor you're playing it on. But with the X, you get the 4K, and with the S, it's 1440p. As someone that has had an S, honestly, I can't even tell half the time.
An astute observation has led to laughter.
Now the hard drive. This is one simple. The X has one, the S doesn't. Now with your video, when you're watching like your Netflix or your Disney Plus and such, both the X and the S are capable up to 8K. It will only matter if your TV has HDR and variable refresh rate, audio low latency, and Dolby Vision. These are all things that only are available if your TV has it. Plus, you're gonna also have to have an ultra high speed HDMI cable, which is sold separately, except in the case of the X, it comes with it. Audio. The Xbox Series X and S have DTS 5.1, Dolby Digital 5.1, Dolby True HD with Atmos, and Windows Sonic. Once again though, all these things matter if your TV or your sound system supports ports and connectivity. Both the X and the S have USB 3.1 Gen ports, 3 of them. HDMI 2.1, 1 port, and then a 1 gigabyte Ethernet. Neither console is all that big, but let's be real. The Series X looks like a small mini fridge, and the S looks like a boombox from the 80s. If you don't know what a boombox is, I suggest you Google it.
Just do it!
To get the most out of your Series X, you will need a next-gen ready television, and those aren't cheap. If you don't have a next-gen TV and all the bells and whistles, I'd recommend just going with the Series X. If you do have the next-gen TV and all the bells and whistles, then I'd recommend going with the X. If you don't, and don't plan on getting one anytime soon, the S might be the best option for you. Unless you still want to pay for physical media and games, then the S isn't for you. Also, let's be real here. The X is more expensive than the S, so it's also about your budget. Also, for me, storage space doesn't matter because I delete my games when I'm done.
What does that mean?
but for some it does, and I get that. Both consoles allow for external storage devices to upgrade your storage space, but once again, those aren't cheap. I have laid it all out for you, so the choice is yours. But the good news is, there's no wrong answer. In the end, all that matters is your needs. I've owned both consoles, and they both play next-gen games fantastic. So I highly recommend either console. The choice is yours.